What's happening, Josh?
What's going on,
welcome
Rob?
to the show.
Do I hear background music?
Yeah, I threw some background music on here, just chilling.
Nice calming elevator music. This is nice. I like this introduction. Welcome to the ITC and Paranormal Podcast with Rob and Josh, streaming live from the City of Angels on this rainy, cold night. Thank you for joining us. Take off your coats, grab a seat, and join us for Paranormal and ITC Talk. Right? Okay.
That was pretty cool.
I can get behind that.
That was pretty good.
Karen, how are you? Sandy? Carl, how are you? Gina? Chantal? Yvonne? Yvonne, would like the 6th floor, please. How was your evening, ma'am?
I'm drinking some Gatorade, actually. Or Powerade, I should say.
Serving Gatorade and Powerade in the lobby. Thanks, Amy. How are you? I can't stop the voice. I gotta stop now or I'll do it the whole evening. Hang up your assless chaps and warm your feet at the fireplace. This is the ITC and Paranormal Podcast with Rob and Josh.
Feel free to light up a cigar.
Oh, yes. You watched Lisa. Excellent. I believe Sheena Metal streaming too. Don't forget about Sheena Metal. She is amazing. And Lisa too.
Hey, Roland. How you doing?
How are you, Roland?
All right, I'm going to cut the music.
Oh, boy. Dawn, how are you? Well, this is Kevin. How are you? Uncelebrity Kevin Hart. We discussed you a lot recently in your experiences. We got to catch up a little bit. Hey,
Yeah,
Lindsay.
exactly. So, God, what to say about Saturday? I don't even know what to say.
Well, that's what's interesting is, behind all the jokes and everything we discussed, it really seemed like as the sessions progressed that the topic of choice or the humor that we were all sharing was shared by them. And I always say that, them as well. And they were responding to us with that same communication and those jokes and that acknowledgement, which is, albeit at my expense, amazing evidence. It was fascinating. And I listened back to it and there really was an acknowledgement to what we were talking about.
And that's what we were saying. Okay, yes, I was pretty hammered.
Hey, Regina. Yeah, I would say, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was pretty hammered.
I
drank a lot. I would say about a quarter bottle of vodka, of a fifth of vodka. So yeah, I was pretty drunk. But with that all said, I went on a couple of rants, but they were, I guess, Josh told me. I mean, Josh, you said it best. You heard my rants, and go for it.
I've been in college, so I've been around a lot of drunk friends, and your rants are coherent. I've followed along with you very well. I didn't feel like anything was too out of left field, if you will. So I was really impressed by your coherent drunk rants. Pseudo coherent. You're still more coherent when you're not drunk, but I was impressed. I really was. And Chantel says you were MC hammered.
And it was all like, I mean, I was just speaking from the heart. So, so if anybody was going to catch me in slipping or, slip of the tongue per se, or catch me in any lies or whatever, Saturday would have been the perfect time to do it.
Don't get paranoid on us now. What?
Well, no, I mean, I'm just saying in general. I mean, because, some people have said a few things, to me, like offline, whatever. So, if anything was going to happen, and I had to run everything, from my side, drunk off my ass. Excuse the language, but
you've said worse. Don't worry.
No, I know
that was okay.
It was fun. I mean,
right. It was a fun show.
I couldn't believe we went for 4 hours, and especially me getting
4 hours, 21 minutes.
Especially getting, that intoxicated for that long.
Right.
It was
Karen
fun.
says she thought it was fun.
I had a blast. And the funny thing is I went to bed about 5, maybe. I was up at 8 o'clock and took a shower, got ready, and actually went out for the day. I went shopping and ran a few errands and stuff. So
You're always shopping at Target. It's always for granola or granola bars. There's always something to do with granola.
wait, you know what? No, I didn't even go to Target that day.
Okay.
But anyway, it was just fun. Had a good time.
Well, and I think part of that too, though, looking back at the evidence and listening back, and I've only reviewed half of it once. I mean, it was 2 hours long. I mean, there's a lot of evidence. Even if you take out all the talking and banter in between, you still have 2 hours of audio almost. And then 2 hours of audio, solid review could take 6 to 8 hours if you're really combing through everything, maybe even more. But what I listened to when I heard back was a coherence or a consistency in the communication. When we were joking about something, we seemed to get those words back, right? The theme came back to us. The humor came back to us. And
but that's something that's never happened before. I mean, to me, ever, where we were on a topic, right? We were talking about,
hey, Shar, Happy New Year.
We were talking about certain things, and we were getting responses. I mean, about what we're just having fun with, and that was really strange.
Right.
I don't know. It was just really, really strange.
Right. I agree.
And even with me being, because of those responses were coming in like at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was, I was gone by that time. There was some things that I said, and I listened back, and I didn't even remember saying or doing. It was like, oh my God.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, I mean, you stayed within limits or boundaries. I would have told you live on air if there was something. Well, I mean, I think a few times you were going to mention names or something. I went, oh, don't do that. And I think you caught yourself, or kind of pseudo caught yourself and corrected yourself. But by and large, though, the evidence was seemingly matching our mood and behavior. And so that was really interesting. And I can't say that proves anything, and neither can any of us, but I just find that correlation interesting. It was a very interesting observation.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, just with that whole correlation, and it was really strange, and I was blown away with what happened. Never in a million years would I have thought that this would happen. So I just thought it was pretty interesting. But yeah, it was all in good fun, but we did some really good research. We had some amazing sessions, and thanks to our viewers just participating and putting up with my antics.
Yeah, your antics. Hey, SA, how are you? Sandy says, I also got my name several times called, like someone wants to talk to me. I heard your name, Sandy, mentioned several times. Yeah.
See, and I even remember that, and I was, like I said, pretty intoxicated.
SA says, hello, everybody. Playing hooky from work to watch the show. Wow, SA. Oh, my gosh. Do we have to pay your wage if you're missing work? I feel bad. But thank you. That's quite the compliment. Oh, my gosh. Oh, that's great. Well, Happy New Year to you all. And Rob and I were talking and looking back at this year and thinking about the growth the shows have made. And I say shows because we have the Wednesday podcast and then the Saturday night show. And really, it comes down to not us, not even our guests, but everyone. Everyone has collectively grown this show. And so we just want to thank you and wish you a Happy New Year. And again, a lot of these Saturday shows are because we're all putting in the collective energy and consciousness into this phenomena. And I believe that the success is shared on all of us. So congratulations to all of us for a successful year in 2021 with the Saturday shows and making the podcast what they are. And Rob and I are really excited for 2022. And especially, and we're lining up some people to come in for interviews for the Wednesday show. We're still trying to figure that time frame out, but we will get something going and have some pretty interesting guests. So
yeah, It's gonna be a lot of fun. Yeah, Chantel, your picture, I guess, threw me way off. And I kept on saying, "Where's Chantel?" And everybody's like, "Rob, she's here." And I was like, "I guess I was just pretty drunk." So I'm sorry, Chantel. Just her profile pic just threw me off.
Yeah, Amy, Happy New Year to you too.
Yep. Happy New Year, Amy.
So, Rob, what were you most impressed with from the Saturday show?
I just think with all the responses that we were getting, um, with any mode that we did, it was with the reverse, with the responses only. There was, and that was weird because in the responses only mode, how often have we ever gotten things that we were talking about? You know what I mean? It's like we were talking about ask us chaps, right? Previously, and then that was being said. Um, if it's radio, when are they going to say ask us chaps on the radio? Never.
Right, and that was
Or
coming
even
through
in
reverse,
reverse.
right?
I mean, even in the
Right.
reverse mode, it's like, this is crazy.
Well, and that's what's interesting is you started the reverse mode, and I remember Don and Sandy wanted the direct response mode or the pseudo random mode of that the timer chip provides.
Right.
And when you switched really quick, you ran that, you stopped it, then you started it again, and they immediately started talking about that. It's like they were almost ready for that. So it's like how you were about to start the reverse mode, and then you went to this other mode really quick, and they were still ready to communicate that back to us, which
Right.
was just it was
And it was,
really interesting.
I mean, yeah. And then several repeated words also. And that's something else
Right.
that Josh and I were talking about. When they keep on repeating things back, they're trying to get a message across, right? So we're like, how in the hell is that even happening? It was just very, very strange.
Yeah, and we talk about how much of our energy we put into that in terms of our thought and what we were joking about, and how the humor plays a role into that, and that response comes back to us. And I believe I don't remember who told us this, but you really do what you put out, you get back, especially with instrumental trans communication. It really seems to be a similarity there.
Right.
Chantel says, I still feel lately the sessions have more of an extraterrestrial type communication, like messages or warnings from other worlds.
But that's what we've been talking about a little bit more and more on the Saturday show. Like that's what is coming through. So it's just
Right, Life Paranormal.
Yeah. But see, that's the thing. That's what we do is we feed nothing but positive energy, right? With everything. If we start feeling negative energy, what do? We stop the sessions, and that's been a rule from day one.
Right.
From the first show that I did, I
Right.
said if anything comes through negative, we're going to stop it. If we want to end the show or the session on a positive note, we're going to end the session. So we always do either one or the other. If we get a great response coming through, and it was something meant for somebody in the audience, and that it coincided with their question,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say, you know what? Let's just stop. Let's end it here and just stop it. Then we'll talk. We'll discuss it, and then we'll start up again.
Well, and have you noticed the times when we've had intense discussions that get very real? We're addressing raw emotion, and the sessions following seem to reflect that same intensity back to us, or subject matter back to us, and emotion back to us.
Right. Hold on, I'm reading something.
Right. I'm trying to catch up on the comments too. SA says, I thought I heard my name but on playback, but was wrong. I did hear, here is the cat, as my cat came into the room. Wow.
Wow.
So an acknowledgement of your cat coming into the room, heard through Rob's equipment at his location. And very interesting.
Yeah. So,
hey, Danny, how are you?
We were talking about possibly doing another show where I drink again. So we were thinking New Year's and then maybe again for St. Patrick's Day. And why am I the freaking? Why do I have to put my ass out there? Excuse the pun, but
Why do you have
get
to
it right.
put excuse me? You're the one putting my you know what out there.
Josh,
you're complaining about you?
Your ass is the topic of the Saturday show.
Yes, I can see that. And it has brought in good evidence, I might add. The joke's on you. I'm bringing in the evidence. I'm the catalyst.
During the blue moon mode.
Thanks for joining us, Danny. During the blue moon.
Oh my God! It balances the assless chaps.
Yeah. Don't
with my versus tipsy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, right, Don. Right. Hey, Carl. No, happy birthday. That's not a problem.
Julie said that she'll get blitzed too, and we can put her on camera.
And we're going to work.
We may as well just do a drunken Zoom session.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah, if you want to do that, that's fine. Drink, raise the vibration, Yvonne says. Hey,
happy
Katrina.
birthday, Carl. So I guess it was Carl's birthday on Saturday. That's
right.
Anyway, we're just getting caught up on the comments.
Right. No, Kanga says, hey, Rob and Josh, hi up here working family. I thought you might be unavailable today, Josh. Great to see you made it. I'm not.
No, Josh is always here unless his internet's down.
Yeah, I was going to say, for whatever reason, they like the internet in my area goes down. Apparently, it's in the whole city. There's some transformer issue. I don't know. There's always an issue with the internet. When it's up, it's fast, but when it's up.
I'm not going to give the breakdown with that because I know what it is. Knowing how the broadband works, yeah, there's certain areas where there's certain cards that go bad, and they always have to swap them out. And some places are worse than others. Thousand Oaks is the worst for
right
Spectrum. That's why I switched from Spectrum to Frontier.
Thanks, Julie.
I felt amazing the next day. Like I said, I went out shopping for several hours the next day. So yeah, I felt great.
Oops.
My son was looking for some shoes, so we were out for several hours.
Kanga says, not for internet reasons, Josh. I have no idea. Oh, it's good to see you, Kanga.
Yeah, I mean, so SA had a comment.
Okay. SA says, my thoughts, the ET sounding voices is maybe an untuned frequency that we cannot hear. Maybe fine tuning we could hear. I don't know. Well, and Rob, you talked about pausing Blu-ray for a little bit and retuning and tightening up the.
So I've talked about maybe taking it offline for a little while, doing some more experimentation and trying a couple of more things to see what may happen, but it just takes so much time. So in effort, I would just have to not run it during the Saturday show until I tweak some more things. But it was a thought. It is a thought. Something that Josh and I were bouncing off of each other.
Right. And it gives us a chance to look at certain voices or the way, like we said, the codec is set up or the current setup of the system and say, well, how can we make it more efficient? You know, we've had enough time with this setup. Let's save these parameters. Let's maybe adjust it this way and see. And sometimes you hit a home run. Sometimes you strike out. I mean, it depends. And I remember in the early stages of this project, there were times when there were things that were really successful, and then it would cut out for a little bit or stop, and then it would come back. I mean, depending on what you were playing with, there's almost an infinite amount of possibilities.
So SA says, let's play a drinking game. Every time I say a certain word, I take a shot. Or we heard a certain voice, take a shot. I'll be on the floor by the time
Hey, Janice.
the show is done. As far as messages for progression.
Oh, I see, Kanga. Oh, I got you. Oh no, it's fine. I've I've gotten Rob back just fine. He doesn't know how I've set him up behind the scenes, but I've got him set up and lock, stock, and barrel into an agreement he doesn't even know about yet. So, so it's fine. I'm going to take care of Rob. It's okay.
Hey, Bridget, welcome back.
Yeah, Janice, we are on YouTube. I believe we are, right, Rob?
What's that?
We're streaming live on YouTube right now. We should be.
Yep.
Yeah,
Always.
we are. Yeah.
Always.
Carl says, so I have had an experience of spirits through the Spiricam program have not only been showing images to me, but also they have started writing words to me in the Perlin noise. Carl, I share in your passion for what Paranormal is doing on their video feeds with the Spiricom and the Perlin noise. It's fascinating. And the images coming through the Perlin noise are very definitive. And I've taken some still shots of watching it, of some pictures. And they're doing some really good work. So check out Paranormal and the Spiricam. It's really impressive. Some very fascinating images.
And we've talked about that, me possibly doing something with the live feed during the show. It's just going to take a lot of work to do. I don't know how.
A lot of extra bandwidth, too.
I might have to set up a second laptop to do it.
Right.
This is how I thought about doing this, setting up a second laptop.
Hey, Dave.
Now I'm going to give away some secrets, but that's okay. If anybody else wants to try this experiment, go for it. I was thinking about setting up a second laptop with a second camera. Kind of like how I used to do for the Saturday show. I had two cameras going, but I would toggle between the two cameras. This time I would have probably like maybe a loopback with a second camera going into, so there would be, instead of me and Josh, there would be me, Josh, and then the third camera or the second camera in a separate window, so we can all keep an eye on it during this stream. That was an idea that I've been thinking about doing, but I'm not sure yet. Or I can even run the Perlin noise going through it with another camera. There's a lot of different possibilities I've been toying with. So
I think that's
something to look forward to next year.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea to incorporate a visual aspect to the show, especially with the energy the group generates. You know, and what we manifest would be really interesting to try a visual aspect along with the audio. And so you would basically toggle, when you would start a session, you could toggle over to that screen or that feedback loop method.
Well, I could just turn it on and off at any given time. So
I think it's definitely worth a shot.
It's worth it. Yeah, it's something worth trying out, I guess.
Hey, Deb. Hey, Elena.
With everything that we do is an experiment anyway. So, so yeah, we can experiment with that.
Definitely. Yeah, we probably probably upload bandwidth as well. We'll see about that. I can help you with that. Let me know. That's pretty taxing on the system, won't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think if I went up to 500 gig or 500 megabit, it should be fine.
Okay. Yeah, we'll
right now we're running 50, so yeah, I mean, if I jump it up to 500, we should be good.
Rob, thank you, Amy, Sandy says, Rob and Josh, Amy thinks she is blocked on Facebook.
Mm.
No one replies. Tell her to come to YouTube.
Yeah, tell her to
Amy,
go to YouTube.
yeah, Amy, you should be able to come to you. We have problems with Facebook, and we've had copyright strikes and issues with our videos playing. I don't think Facebook likes our likes the Bear Awakening.
I always tell people go to YouTube.
Right. I think YouTube should be clear. That's why we just usually tell everyone to go to YouTube.
More people are on YouTube. I only see you and
Live
Lisa
Paranormal, right?
on YouTube. Everybody else is on Facebook. Everybody else is on YouTube.
Dave says yes, Facebook sucks. Yeah, we're kind of feeling the same way because they always cut our videos for some reason. Not blocked, trust me. Okay.
Yep. Facebook, the pain in the ass.
Thank you, though, Amy. I mean, I'm glad. First of all, I'm glad you're here, Amy, and I'm sorry there's an issue with a block. I'm not sure why that's happening. We've had other people report issues with Facebook too, trying to watch from there. But thank you for trying at least and being here with us. Carl switched over too. SA fan Kanga says the boys Blu-ray experiment has phases. Deciphering ET's messages should maybe have its own phase.
Oh no, it's hard. I mean, because you have to realize that Blu-ray is nothing but high frequency sound. So we have no control over that. Whatever comes through, comes through. There's no control over that.
And there was a period of time when there wasn't communication coming through.
Anything coming through, really.
That was, you know what? I was invested, watching you go through this, but at the same time, I was upset. I was like, oh no, what went wrong? What did we do wrong? What did we change something and now we can't get back to it? That was scary. Right. I mean, that was, that was a few weeks of terror. Like, oh my gosh, what did we lost something that was working.
Chantel had to go on a potty break. So what did she miss? We're just talking about you pretty much.
Absolutely nothing. Yeah. Okay. Oh, thank you for checking. Okay, so she's not blocked. Okay. We're not seeing you blocked on our end, Amy. Carl says, I'm beginning to think maybe not ETs, but the same entities we see in the Pearl of Noise. Very possible, Carl.
It's very possible. We don't know. We don't know where anything's coming from, really.
Right.
So, I mean, that's the thing about ITC. Do we have all the answers? No. Do we have any answers? No. I mean, just honestly, can we say it's spirit? No. We don't have any answers. We don't know. I'll be the first one to admit it. We don't know. It's not like other people saying it's 100% real, spirit communication. It's not true. How do you know that?
Right.
We don't. And I'll be the first one to say it. Drunk, not drunk.
We can use measurement equipment that's unbiased that can help tell us what words we're picking up, what intelligent words we're picking up. But that doesn't mean we know the source or where it's coming from. But we can clarify there's certain words being said. But do we know where it's coming from? We can't. How do you pinpoint that?
We can't.
Right.
And we'll be the first to admit it. We'll be the first to say it.
Right.
We don't know what it is. We can't say it's spirit communication. We can't.
There does seem to be an intelligence, and there does seem to be consciousness involved. It appears to be. Again,
it appears to be.
It appears to be. Carl says no, but I think you're right, Rob. Use Blu-ray simultaneously with Spiricam or Spectracom. Now that's Paranormal's equipment, though. I don't know that we could use.
Well, Spectracom is there's a piece of software that I have.
Oh, there is. Okay, maybe I'm thinking something else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a piece of software. It displays images. It's pretty cool.
Len says my wife always has answers, and the answer is always no. Len.
um,
Elena says sometimes the answers come in at a pace they want you to receive them. Excellent point. That's right.
Chantel, how are you storm chasing in Alabama? I don't understand. She must be astroplaning.
Right. Thank you for clarifying, Carl, for me. Thank you.
She's astroplaning from South Africa to Alabama.
Wow. Live storm chaser. Oh, virtually, right. Oh, yeah, there's some nasty storms going on right now.
Yeah. Okay, I got it.
What do you got?
Thank you for sharing, Chantel.
Dave says he loves Alabama.
Yeah, I've been in Alabama a few times. I used to live in Georgia, so.
Where have you investigated in Alabama?
Me personally, I haven't.
Hey, Deborah, how are you? Chantel says tornado on the ground outside Birmingham at the moment with a huge debris ball. Oh, my God.
Wow. Birmingham is pretty cool. I had a good friend of mine that lived there, so I'd go visit her once in a while.
Vitrina asks, Rob and Josh, do you ever go back and play an episode at different playback speed? I have, not every single one. I will use a digital pitch and pitch it down so the words are still intelligible, but it slows it down, maybe 75%, maybe down to 60%, sometimes half speed. And a lot of times it's good because you can get a better idea of the transients or the microdynamics in the audio, and you have an easier time hearing the phonetical vowels and different consonants a lot clearer.
Yeah. Actually, slow it down. Don't go faster. Slow it down. Or no. Check that.
Oh,
If you
thank you
think
for clarifying. Oh, go ahead.
if you think it is going too fast for you, slow it down a little bit. But you're going to see a difference. You're going to be like, wait a minute, no, this is too slow, and you'll see what I'm talking about. If you have any way of slowing down the speeds of listening to it, try it, and you'll kind of understand where I'm coming from when certain sweep speeds are. You want to get it, especially reverse. You want to get it at a certain speed. Sometimes it's way too slow, and you'll start hearing what I'm talking about. Speed it up. You might find it a little bit more interesting.
A lot of the times when you slow it down or use digital pitch, you can hear the quieter voices that are hiding decibels below the main fundamental frequencies, and you have an easier time hearing what they're talking about in the background. It's really fascinating.
Yeah. But now, if you want to hear the louder voices, you're going to speed it up because you're going to you're going to say, wait a minute, okay, now I see what's going on. So there's a method to the madness.
Vitrina says it was very interesting, faster for the 1.5. I checked it out. You know what, Vitrina, I'm gonna try that just to see what happens. I believe I've sped it up a few times, but maybe not with the attention to detail that you're doing. So I'm going to give that a shot. That sounds interesting.
Yeah. The
Yeah, Don says
whispers
like the
are the
whispers.
ones that, yeah, those are the ones that you want to try to amplify. Because that's where we're getting a lot of the really interesting responses coming through.
Yeah, that's right, Kevin. It gets
Yeah.
muddy when you try to get everything. That's right.
So here's the thing, Kevin. So it's just like,
You're right.
this is why with, like, let's say with EVP, um, if you ever try to clean up EVP, and because that's all I used to deal with was EVP. So anytime I was doing review of EVP, or if I would want to say, okay, here's some EVPs that I captured, people always would ask, is this cleaned up? Did you run any filters? Did you do this? They would have a bunch of questions. So I would say with this particular EVP that I'm going to play right now, yes. So you'd play it. Wow, I would love to hear the original. Okay, you want to hear the original? Here it is. Boom. Here it is raw. And then people were like, wow, I'm more impressed with the raw than I am with the cleaned up version. And I said, exactly. And that's why I just stopped, because I would clean it up and I would have two copies. And everybody that, whenever I would play an EVP, they always wanted to hear the original version because it's more compelling. It has more clarity. When you start cleaning it up, it does have a digital tone to it, and you'll start hearing a lot of the, I guess, the compression coming through, a lot of the codec coming through, because you have to remember now you're writing something digitally. So even if it was an analog recorder or a digital recorder, you're still cleaning it up. You're going to still add those artifacts to it, and it's not going to sound the same. What do you think on that, Josh?
No, I think that
Being
was
an
well said.
audio engineer.
Well, I mean, I think people attempt to clean them up, and I understand the desire to, but I generally prefer using a recording device built from the ground up to minimize, noise, have a high signal to noise ratio, so the EVPs you collect are already clean, where you don't have to do that afterward. And I think that's the downfall to a lot of these recorders that, have 8-bit, quantization, 8 kilohertz sample rate, so things like that, they require too much doctoring. And at that point, you can sometimes maintain the fundamental frequencies, but a lot of the times the noise reduction will just alter what you're hearing.
Right.
So there is a fine line to walk, but I do understand. I mean, in terms of experimenting with options, and I know that it can clean up some situations where noise is inevitable, and sometimes those things are desirable. So I see an argument for both sides. I usually don't clean mine up. I try and just record with the cleanest preamps and mics possible so that it's just clean right out of the gate.
Yep. And then we were just talking about, the Roundtree, setup. I mean, that's, if you want something that's going to give you the best result of any EVP recorder, there you go. But that setup's going to cost you pretty much what people are paying for a DR60 anyway. But you're going to have a legitimate, true, high quality recorder. And it will blow anything else out of the water when you do capture EVP. You'll be pretty blown away with what you capture.
Whoops. Elena says, the more open you become and sensitive to the vibrations and frequencies, the higher yours becomes. Easier for them to connect and communicate, and they also connect through mind as well and feeling. It all connects. They can communicate clearer and will more, at least my experience. That's very well said. Excellent, excellent points.
But that's exactly what we're talking about. I mean, with the Saturday show, that's where I don't think it's really the equipment that we're dealing with here. It's more of the circle. It's more of the energy that we're putting through. It's all of the intent. There's a lot more behind it.
Right.
And we're proving this, I think, because we're trying different methods. We're trying to reverse. We're trying, different types of modes. Even assless chaps mode.
Your favorite.
That's famous by Joshua.
You better put that timing together, and I'll EQ the sound. You do your part, I'll do my part. That's what we'll call it.
I mean, just all the kidding aside, though, we're trying different methods, and we're getting phenomenal results no matter what we're trying. And I could do them not on the show and not get the same results at all. doing the same exact setup. No responses coming through. It's just really strange. Doing everything the same, and I don't get any results. And Josh has said the same thing, dude. I'm getting nothing. But then we once in a while we do, and we'll share different pieces of evidence that we do capture. So we experiment off camera also. We're always experimenting. So just because we're like, okay, we're going to do a show today, we're always trying different methods. We're always trying new things, and we bring it on live. Hey, Josh, check out what I'm going to run this weekend. Or look what I'm going to run tomorrow. And he'll listen to it. He's like, dude, you got to do it. You got to do it.
Right. Anyway. Yeah, this year brought about what eight different modes from your circuit, three from your circuit, maybe four from your circuit, and 4 different styles of Blu-ray, including Carl's mode, which is the newest one, which he suggested reverse and Blu-ray, which is really interesting, right?
And that was mind blowing. I don't know if Carl, if you like really listen to it and listen back, it's mind blowing. Yes, it's a little much, but the results are amazing. It's crazy.
These comments are funny.
You guys in their comments. We're trying to keep the comedy for the Saturday show. I'll throw it in here once in a while, but Josh is in his professional mode. He's in his shirt and tie.
Look at this. Look at this. I even went to match the colors. Look at that. That blue matches the shirt. I was like, this has to match. Like this is where I put my attention to. The Saturday show is an absolute train wreck.
Saturday, he has that tie wrapped around his head. He's like head banging. He's running in and out of the red room. He's getting out the lube, spraying it all over the place.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, because I want that stuff all over my walls. Rob, I'm not you now you're pushing it too far. The assless chaps is one thing, but spraying that stuff on the walls, that ain't happening. That ain't happening. Can't see what? Oh, my here. Yeah, this is my tie, you guys. Come on. You know I wear ties on Wednesday.
Don't stand up too much. You show off your ass.
No, you have to know I'm prepared for that by now. Janice says I used to be a headbanger. Well, Seattle, of course. Well, they're jammies, but they're like black karate pants from the Karate Kid. They're black workout pants. In case I have to give someone, like my co-host, a karate kick to the head, I'll be in my comfy pants to stretch out my legs. Stop it. Not on the Wednesday show. You stop that. No more now. Dave says, I don't think the robotic sound is alien, but rather a sort of supervisor giving commands to spirits. Dave, your guess is as good as mine. It's very interesting. We're gonna work with that sound because again, that's generated from the codec that's set up. So it's possible it could be fine-tuned or we can work with it. That's what Rob's gonna put the car on the lift and take a look underneath and bang around the exhaust a little bit and see what we can figure out, if we can tune anything up.
Yeah. I'll play around with that a little bit.
Elena says, yes, so much where quantum physics, dimensions, etc. come into play. Everything helps each other, but our energy truly is the generator for receiving. Plus trusting what you hear and saw was real.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Very beautifully said. And we are experiencing that. And Elena, I hope you're available to join us on the Saturday show. All joking aside, we really have some great experiences, some great communication, ITC sessions, and I hope you're able to join us. And really what you're talking about, we try and put into play. We try and manifest that energy and that intent, and that communication seems to be responding to us. Wherever the source is, whatever it is, there is an intelligence and consciousness speaking back to us. And we believe it's because of what we're putting into it. A lot of it has to do with that.
Yeah. Go for it, Josh. Read the question or answer the question.
Please. Jeez.
There's no please around here. Just do it or else I'll send your ass to the whipping post for Chantel to take care of you.
Fantastic, but not on the Wednesday show. Did I say fantastic? What I meant to say is okay, but not on the Wednesday show. SA says, Josh, Rob, can you recommend learning material for a newbie like myself to expand understanding and knowledge, books or good sites? There, in particular, are you speaking about ITC or anything regarding paranormal? Because it is actually is a very, very large subject. One of the websites that encompasses everything, one of our friends, Tim Woolworth, put together a website called Paranormal Study. And this website encompasses everything from ITC to Bigfoot to UFOs to USOs, spiritualism, mysticism, everything from the Illuminati, the Freemasons, anything under the sun that involves anything otherworldly or paranormal. I really like that website, Paranormal Study. And on that site, Tim has a massive list of literature from all different subjects regarding ITC and the paranormal. So he's really done a good job collecting all that in one place. Would you agree with me, Rob?
Yep. That's
Paranormal
what I was
Studies,
going to suggest, yeah.
Paranormal Study. And
for paranormal stuff, God, what's the name of that site? It's in England. It's in the UK. What the hell? I'd have to look. I'd have to think about it.
And I don't mean to not recommend any books or literature, but there's so much, and to pinpoint one topic would be very difficult. But if you go to Tim's website, I mean, he must have thousands of books and things and articles and things he's talked about or chronicled that cover every subject really and under paranormal and ITC and cryptids and other subject matter. Dave, this is a great point. I love both shows and the group. It's like going to an AA meeting and comedy show, seeing the comments. Dave, but you're very honest with your comments.
Really is.
Yeah, it really is. This is a group setting, and we feel comfortable with each other, and we talk about these sessions. And really, anyone who comes in who wants to join us can, and we make them feel welcome.
On the Saturday show, yeah, I'm like an AA counselor, but
you're drinking. Yeah, but you're drinking, right? Which
so I'm no good influence on that.
That's our theory. You show up and yeah, Rob drinks and you guys don't, but I guess that's how it works. Yes, Janice, I try to Janice says, do you guys ever listen to Coast to Coast, especially when Art Bell was on? There was a time in my life, yeah, when I had the time to do that more at that time slot, I would catch it. Just not.
Funny thing is I was driving cross country. I was driving from California to Georgia, and I was listening to it during my drive. It was pretty interesting.
Rob, can you put up the link for Tim's website, paranormalstudy.com? And what Tim has set up is he's offered over the years a tremendous amount of awareness to literature in ITC and the paranormal. And through this website, he's actually listed this and documented different books. And follow him on social media too, because I don't think anyone in ITC, at least I can speak, has chronicled or documented as much literature as Tim. And I know that people with Paranormal have done the same thing. Jeremy Michael Bloxham has documented a lot of the literature, and they have a lot of the old recordings as well, a lot of the original recordings from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Or is it paranormalstudy.org?
Oh, that's right.
It could be. But what you do is you start there and you kind of figure out the subject matter you want to research, and then you can proceed forward with a list of literature and videos and links and things like that. Painstaking process to detail all of that. So good job, Tim.
I just did a search for Paranormal Study. It's not coming up.
Oh, I'm glad my references are current. I'll tell you what, SA, what I'll do is there could be a link down, or maybe there's something I don't know. Let me find out. If you want, message the show or Rob or myself, and I will put together a starting point. It might be easier for me to just get it on paper. Bridget says, I like the way the roof matches up with your windows. The roof matches up with my... I'm not sure I understand.
I'm
Doesn't.
looking, but yeah, I'm not finding anything.
Did Tim take it down?
I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't show up on Google.
Message us, and I will make sure I'll get you a list personally of literature and or places to start to get you going.
Oh, they're talking about the background pic. The roof on the background pic lines up with your windows.
That's funny. I guess it does. Oh, that's interesting.
We'll find a link. Wait, I think, you know what? Hold on. I might have it.
Oh, SA found the link. I think SA said she found
Here
it.
it is. It's itcvoices.org.
Okay, so maybe he
or
put
paranormalstudy.com.
Right. It should be paranormalstudy.com. That's the one with basically every subject matter in paranormal or ITC. And then you can pick whatever subtopic you want. And then there's a whole list of literature and videos and things like that. But yeah, there's okay. Oh, I hope the link is still up because he put a lot of work into that. I know there's a paranormal study on Facebook as well.
Yeah, there is.
Josh is on the clock. That's funny. Yeah, SA, it should be. And I don't know if it was hard to find at first or if maybe Tim's working on the site. It's possible. I think he may, if he takes it offline and works on it. I don't know. I don't know what frequency he's updating it currently. But I know that he put a lot of work into the plethora of subject matter there. And always Tim is accompanied by a lot of knowledge on which books and literature to read. Again, going back last century and current century. Carl says, don't mean to sound cutting, Josh, but you kind of look like you suit a haunted old house sometimes. That white ghostly face bathed in spooky glow. Oh, Carl, you speak the truth. You're absolutely right. No matter what lighting I have on, I pretty much look just as white. Google it. Okay, so you did find the right site, SA. Let me see. You know what? Rob, did you find it?
I put it up.
Oh, okay. Oh, you did find it. Okay.
No, I put it up earlier. I had it saved in here, I'll put it up again. It's paranormalstudy.com.
Okay, you did find it. Okay. Julie says Jaden thinks you look like Seth Green. Probably a pale Seth Green. Now Seth Green is pretty pale. I think I got him beat on pale. I think I do. He has redder hair than I do though. But I got him beat on being more pale. He's also slightly more successful than me. Just a little. On Celebrity Kevin Hart. And you know what? I've thought about this, and I happen to think you might be onto something. Josh is actually a ghost who refuses to go into the light. That sounds like me too. Like, I'm not ready. I'll go when I'm ready. Thank you. That definitely sounds like me.
Do I know Mandy? I'm not sure. To be honest, I'm not good with names, so I'm just really bad.
Who's this now? Ghost Sisters?
Yeah, somebody from Ghost Sisters.
That's possible too, SA. You know what? One of the guys I used to work at the studio, his theory was that in ITC when we were working on it together with EVP, he's like, oh, we're just hearing back from the system prompt. almost like a reflection or mirror back of information back to us. He was insinuating the Matrix, and the command prompt was responding to us somehow. He had some weird theory like that. That's possible too. Who knows?
It's always possible. Yeah, we could all be dead, and this is our afterlife.
This would be my personal hell, Rob. Being on the Saturday show with you, this would be a fitting hell for me. Elena, red pill or blue? Oh, we all took the red pill.
Yep.
SA
Actually,
excellent.
Go ahead.
I was just going to read a comment. SA says, there is so much we don't know. It's like explaining time and history to a dog. That's a great analogy. It really is.
Exactly.
Oh. Crime. Crime did we commit to deserve this shit show? Yeah, you have to all look at your personal karma and history and be like, why am I drawn to watch this show? Why is my karma tied to watching this show?
It's an excellent point. Instead of saying welcome to the show, I'm going to say welcome to the shit show. That's going to be my new intro.
Oh no, don't start off that. Maybe for Saturday, not our Wednesday show, please. We're hanging on by a thread. Right, Kanga, mine too, Josh. This better not be my afterlife. Yeah. Oh yeah, this was our afterlife.
Oh my gosh.
Right. And you know what? Yeah, we don't know. And that's when we run these sessions, and even when we started, it was very clear, we don't have any answers. We don't know the source of this. We speculate, we guess, we theorize, we brainstorm, we use our imagination. It's all open game, really. And I love all of the ideas and thoughts we've had this year, we've discussed about on this show, about what it could be, what it feels like sometimes. It's great. And I'm glad we're all able to share that.
No, exactly. And that's the thing. I mean, if you guys have any ideas that we want, or you guys want us to try, we're more than happy to do it. Case in point, I mean, Kanga, or not Kanga. Oh, gosh, I can't even think. Carl threw out a comment a few weeks ago about us trying something, him and Roland. And we tried it, and it was like amazing. Something I never even thought of. So there's so many combinations that we can try, and it's just, being creative and trying different things. We don't know what's going to work.
Right. That's it. If this is it, I'm at least taking charge by ordering a webcam and green screen. What is this for? Oh, if it's the afterlife. Oh, Purple says, easy, one of my puppies loves your show and is watching now. SA says idea, blindfolded and direct response. We ask questions and hear the blindfolded person's responses.
Yeah, you could blindfold me and have me drunk off my ass, and me repeating responses in slurred speech.
Oh, it's always a joy. SA says, or half us mute the conversation and then listen for what's said. And you know what? There's so many things we still can do, and that's what we want to do, is incorporate different ways we actually conduct the experiments. Oh, Brian, thank you for joining us. Brian says, the first time I came to this show, assless chaps, it's never going to leave my mind. Banging my head on the desk now. And this is unfortunately a lot of people who join us for the first time hear this, and they look at the title and they hear the subject matter, and it's kind of confusing. It's the same feeling you have when you first wake up and you're like, wait, what day is it? What time is it? And they're kind of looking at the screen, looking at the title and listening to the content. They're like, this doesn't add up. Something's wrong here. So I'm glad you stayed. I really am. That's your first impression of us, though. Ooh.
Oh, yeah. I just feel bad for people coming in, like the Saturday show. There's a freaking drunk guy talking, and there's another guy like trying to
Yappy
be
guy
all
drinking
serious,
coffee won't shut.
and he's like getting beat down by this other drunken guy. What's
Right,
going on here?
right.
Talking about assless chaps. What the hell? This is supposed to be a paranormal show.
Elena says, if you want to use Matrix in lives, the new one is a pretty good example. One, they end up, you go into another and another, and then gets you to the point to start remembering the ones came before. So having an afterlife, if you die in the afterlife, going to another version of the afterlife in the afterlife,
Yeah,
and then so forth and so on. Almost like Inception, a dream within a dream within a dream.
yeah. So the new Matrix, it's worth watching. It's. I liked it. I really did like it.
Brian says it could be worse. Yes, the show could be worse. I guess it could be worse. There's nothing better on it. We could watch this. It could be worse. You could listen to White Noise.
Right?
I mean, I guess this is a substitute for our show.
It's only 9 o'clock, and I'm already yawning. What's wrong with me?
I don't know. I don't. SA says, Josh, assless chaps, man. Not all heroes wear a cape. Thank you for complimenting me and slapping me at the same time. Thanks. My thank you is sincere.
I would add to it, but I'm not going to. I won't. I'm trying to be good for the Wednesday show, but
Thank you. And you're going to be good for the Wednesday show.
oh my God, I can so run with that right now. But all right, I'm biting my tongue. I got to
Be
shut
nice.
up. I'm going to shut up.
That's right, Kelly. White Noise was a pretty good movie. You know, it influenced me. Boy, was that in the late 80s with Michael Keaton? Was that
Yeah.
Rob? I remember that influenced me at a very young age. I really enjoyed that movie. And I don't know how it holds up to today, you know, in terms of relevance or excitement, if it stood the test of time, but I remember enjoying it back in the day. SA says she's helping me evolve. Well, thank you, SA. I appreciate it. Thanks, Brian. You guys are great. The reason I come back. Yeah, and you know what? The Wednesday show will be a lot busier next year. This is kind of the winding down and our, I guess you could call it our New Year's Eve podcast show, because we have a lot more activity next year. So the end of the year is just, you know, recapping.
Starting with the New Year show this Saturday.
Right now, we
are going live doing the show on New Year's. Well, it would technically be the second. We're starting it on still within the new year, but technically it'll be
it'll still
midnight the second, but
yeah,
still New Year's show.
Oh gosh.
But I might.
Amanda says White Noise came out in 2005. Are you sure? Please tell me my memory is not that bad. I feel like there was a version that came out in the 80s or 90s. I could just be hallucinating.
I think the original one came out in the 90s.
That's what I thought. I thought there was a version in the 90s with Michael Keaton, right?
Looking it up.
Okay.
Oh, wait. No, it does say 2005. What the hell?
There's no way that came out when I was... No way. It had to be earlier.
No, it does. With Michael Keaton, 2005. Oh my God. That's what IMBD or DB says.
Oh, something's happening to my brain. I swear that was in 98. See, Kelly says 98, I think.
IMDb says 2005.
Maybe that's what it was. I feel like I remember something in the 80s or 90s with Michael Keaton and the movie White Noise.
Yeah,
but
no,
I could be 100% wrong. I could be wrong.
It does say Michael.
It's not important. It's just not relevant. I know.
We're arguing about something.
Right. Deb says last show for 2021, first show for 2022. Yeah. So you'll be. Are you celebrating this weekend on our show, Rob? you celebrating as you did
I
last
don't
weekend, or?
know. Should I?
Oh, that's up to you. I mean, I think if you're gonna
We
celebrate
could, we
one
could
more
take
time like you
we could
did,
take raise of hands.
it would be appropriate because we don't have any really celebratory shows until next holiday season, if you think about it.
Oh my god.
So, I mean, if you were to do one Christmas show and one New Year's Eve show as kind of our Christmas party or holiday party, if you will, for all holidays and New Year's, yeah, I could see you, if you wanted to do that again, I could tolerate it. You're tolerable. I could tolerate you again. Yes, Rob's will be hitting the Terps again.
Only if you guys want me to, I will.
I mean, don't want you to. I don't force you to drink at our show.
I'll volunteer willingly if we get enough people that want me to do it.
That's an odd request, but yeah. I'm just saying, if you're going to do it one more time, then it's the holiday party and the New Year's party, and then yeah, it's like wait till next year to do it again or something.
Well, happy birthday, Sharon.
Happy birthday, Sharon. Oh, that's great.
Carl says yes.
Carl says yes. Are you even making New Year's resolutions? You know what, Len? I haven't thought about that yet, but probably.
No.
Maybe. Probably.
No.
I'll probably make one or two.
Would.
No?
No. Bring on the shots. No shots. Just straight up vodka with a splash of tonic.
Yeah, it worked well.
God, those drinks are so strong.
And what we'll do is next time we'll run a variety of modes. Well, there's like 2 or 3 or 4 modes we can run, and maybe we should run 4 or 5 sessions. Good solid sessions.
Yeah, if you guys want to do shots every half hour along with me, that's fine.
I'm going to stick with my coffee.
I'm going to drop off a bottle of something at Josh's house.
No, I'm DD for the show. I'm Mama Bear of the show. I got to make sure this thing stays on course. As long as you don't eject me and cut me off.
Yeah, you guys might see it like an 8-hour show with us passed out and just nothing happening on the show. Like, what happened to where's the guys at? Oh, they're passed out on the floor.
Yeah, show's live. Brian says New Year's resolutions, nice way to accomplish failure, right? Right out of the gate, right?
Exactly.
Thanks for the vote of confidence, Brian. I get you though. Yeah, no, I'll be for anyone who will be a wide awake and sober for the Saturday show, you'll be joining my team. I will have my cup of coffee. I will be completely sober and aware and alert. So if you want to have a normal conversation or some, grounded conversation, I'll be here to do that. Rob will be here to entertain anyone else who wants to take shots. So we're really, there's a variety here at the show, depending on what you like.
So yeah, you'll just come to 2 open mics with Josh like bent over in the background with his assless chaps, light brightening up the room.
Kevin says just 2 mics and chaps.
You'll see Josh's ass.
We did clear the top of the hour, so good job, guys, for keeping the Wednesday show serious for an hour. I do appreciate the effort. I know it's difficult. Thank you. Carl says, I think we need to do a live spirit possession special. I nominate Josh to play the victim. Carl, I like your idea. I like your idea if I were to take myself out of the equation. Let me think about that. Then Don.
Oh my God. This would be crazy.
Right. I say I'm already hyper enough and I'm long-winded when I talk. I can't imagine me under the influence of alcohol, just how obnoxious and annoying I would be. In fact, Rob won't even want to deal with me. He's like, it's enough now as it is. Yeah, I got to curtail that. And where do you get these ideas, Carl? A room divider. Yes. Carl's coming in hot tonight, Carl. You're coming in pretty strong. I think they like those rosy cheeks of yours, Josh. Well, thank you,
Oh
Carl,
my
but
God.
my gosh, are you forward? Wow.
Someone's coming in hot.
Carl had his vitamin B today. he's got some energy. But I do like your ideas, Carl.
It's coming in hot.
Hot tea. Okay, yeah. So everyone, yeah. So for the Saturday show, just be ready. We're gonna have a good time Saturday, and we're gonna run. I'll try and convince Rob to run the direct response mode. I know a lot of you like that. I really enjoyed that. In fact, Rob, that's where we got a lot of the evidence or the acknowledgement of our jokes and our humor back to us was through the direct response mode. That was really interesting.
Cool.
And we had some messages being repeated. We do find that even in ghost box communication, but it was really prevalent and clear this time. And it was interesting when it happens. It doesn't happen all the time, but when it does happen, it's really interesting.
Yeah. Very, very cool.
Len says we need a show so people can describe their sexual experiences with spirits. Well, I'm to understand people have had experiences with incubus and succubus. And
hold on a second.
If anyone has, yes, we talk to them on the show. Brian says, choose a word you can't say that word the whole show, and every time it is said, you have to do a shot. Your choice of alcohol. Let's pick a word that knocks Rob out in about 10 minutes and see what happens. Vitrina says, so Rob and Josh, do you ever hear any messages playing back a session in both directions? Yes, in fact, when we first started doing the Saturday show and I joined along, and Rob was still running his boxes in the forward direction, because there's a time, Rob, remember when you ran a lot in forward direction, we would reverse that and you could hear things in reverse. And a lot of the times we'll run the reverse and forward, and you can flip that in a DAW or, Audacity or any type of program like that. You can just clip the audio and just reverse the whole thing and listen to it. And yes, you do hear communication in words that you didn't perceive the first time around going back. And that's why review really is so much of, I still feel like the communication, although it's not live, is still living. Even upon review, because we know that even upon review, words are changed. How many times do you hear a word and go back and it's not there? And maybe it's somewhere else, or maybe you hear a different word than you didn't hear before. And a lot of times they'll make alterations to that communication even after it's on tape or stored on a hard drive or a flash drive. So review really is an opportunity to still interact with ITC, because there's still, and that phenomena is still occurring even upon review. A lot of miraculous things can be uncovered upon review.
Exactly. And that's the thing. I mean, sometimes we would hear things that we didn't hear on the show. Raina would call me up all the time. Rob, I just watched your show, because she would miss it. And then so she would go back and listen and call me and say, hey, you got to go to this timestamp and listen to this. Because there was responses coming through in my voice, and I wasn't even talking at that time.
Right. Wow, that's incredible. Len says, my experience was with a dead hooker from the 1920s. She attached to me for several months before I got rid of her. Wow, Len. Wow.
So here's another thing. I mean, on that same topic, you have to be careful, because sometimes we might get an attachment, or it's almost like a partial possession, to where we're feeling what others are feeling or thinking. We're feeling their emotions, and at times it's like we're we're doing things out of our control per se, and we might say things or do things that are not normal in our, when we're saying normal as in us, like myself, or whoever's that's happening to. I just had something happen not that long ago, and a certain text I sent, I looked back at it and I said, wait a minute. So I read this text to somebody else that knew this person, and they said, wow, that's exactly what so and so would say. And I said, right? And they're like, because I got, text from that person, and I had the same, I mean, and it's verbatim, word for word. And it's something that I would never say or have ever said or sent to anybody.
Right.
But how is that even possible? And I was just blown away by that. And it's something that I would never send because I'm not that type of person. That was out of character for me. So,
Right.
and I'm speaking from experience. I mean, because that happened to me. And it wasn't that long ago. So when I verified it with somebody else that knew that person very close, they were like, holy crap, that's something that this person would have sent. It's exactly what they said, word for word.
Right.
Because they received that same type of text from that person. So it's very strange.
Right. Interesting. Yeah. I'm trying to follow the story here as they say it. Kevin Hart says aura attachment. Interesting. Uncelebrity Kevin Hart, I'd like to catch up with you and your experience as well. I know you've had some pretty interesting experiences lately. We brought you up on the last Saturday show, I believe. Anyway.
No, exactly. Well said. It's like an oppression. And that's the thing about oppression. People don't realize it's not a possession, but oppression, you can still be influenced by something else without being an actual possession. Um, so, and that's the thing that I've talked about before on the show. You have to be careful because when you investigate a lot or you go to certain locations, there's a chance that you can be oppressed by that location. I've seen it happen to people who were very oppressed. Um, they didn't really see that, but people just get in denial when there is oppression that settles in. And a lot of people aren't experienced with oppression, they've never dealt with it before. So there's a lot of things that can happen when you're oppressed. So you have to be careful. And that's one thing that I always say: you have to be careful when you're investigating locations. You don't know what you're walking into. You don't know that you're opening yourself up to somebody, to something, or to that particular location. You don't know what's there. Um, and I was oppressed for 2 years. There was a lot of things that were going on. Um, so you just have to be. Somebody else said, you know, basically pointed it out, because you start also getting very obsessive over a certain location when you are suffering from that, and it could be a location that's pulling you back, and you're suffering from oppression from that location. So it's just really, really strange.
Live Paranormal agrees with you with what you're saying. Elena says you can really feel outside the locations. If it gets thicker as you go in, you have to be so careful. Brian says you guys should check out my new social media site called Parapost Network. Everything under the umbrella of the paranormal. You can download it through iOS or Android. Guys, you heard it here. Maybe not first, but let me just pretend like everyone heard it here first, Brian. You heard it here first. Check out Parapost Network by Brian Laverty. You can download it on iOS or Android today. Just say you told us first, Brian. Carl says yes, like when you communicate with the demons and you think they are being friendly, but they have actually claimed ownership of you.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. I mean, yeah, there's just a lot. I mean, there's just so much. There are rituals that people have do talk about to in doing a depossession, I guess, or an exorcism is what people call it. Um, that's just a whole nother topic. And we've
Right.
talked about it before on the show.
Right. Life Paranormal says always ground, surround, wear light, and have
Yeah.
exit plan. Sea salt, liquid smudge. Elena says ancients are the worst, even worse than demons.
Yeah.
I haven't encountered that, but I appreciate the
Okay.
awareness to
With
that.
what Elena is talking about, it's we've talked about it before. There's a galactic council and there's a spirit council. That's what we're saying.
I
Like
see.
the ancients are even worse because
Okay.
they've been around longer. So
I see.
yeah.
Interesting.
No, I've never talked
I have not.
with a priest.
Life Paranormal says it takes months to get rid of attachments.
Does
And
a
you have,
long
I can't even speak on this, Rob, because you have tremendous amount of experience with this in the, the decades of experience investigating. And so you can speak to that. When you've seen people with attachments, Rob, of any kind, does it take, I mean, there's a long, timely process with this,
it's a
correct?
long timely process, but then they also have to want to or be willing to go through that process and what it
Right.
takes to get rid of those attachments. Some people aren't. Some people are in denial that they don't have any attachments, and so it's just yeah. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of time, but you also
Right.
it's like going to therapy. You have to be willing to go, and you
Right.
have to be open and honest. If you're not open and honest, just like anything else, it's not going to work.
So my question is, Rob, and because you have more experience with this, and I know many of our friends listening and watching right now have more experience, is there a point of no return situation? Is there always a situation if the person chooses to get better or has the opportunity to choose to get better? Is there always a way out, or are there people that don't come back from this type of situation?
No,
I
there's
know.
always a way out. There's
I
always a way out.
okay. Okay. I know there's extremes, and I know there's cases that are closed book or people don't talk about. So I just wanted to know if there were those rare situations where a situation becomes hopeless for any reason. I can't imagine there would be, but I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah. I mean, and Kevin just has a perfect example.
Want me to read his comment? Kevin says, you will get attachments from ghost hunting and doing ITC in your home can be a means of inviting them into your home, and they may not want to leave your home or you.
Mhm.
Excellent point, Kevin.
That's just like anything else. I mean, you don't know when you, like I said, when you're going into a location, you don't know what's there. A lot of people go in there blind. They don't know what they're going into. They don't know,
Right.
a lot of people go in there just looking, oh, we're going to go ghost hunting. Let's go check out this location. They don't know what they're walking into. And they can open themselves up and boom, now you have an attachment. And also, attachments also get left at locations. So
We've talked about this.
there's been, and I've talked about that. There's locations where, there's never been any women or children at this location ever. Now there's both a woman and a child at this location. Um, so, and there's no record. I mean, there's no way a woman or child was there because it was forbidden.
Right.
And I'm talking about a military ship, a World War II military ship, and
Someone
Korean War ship.
someone brought
So
them
yeah,
as an attachment, and now
right.
through free will did those, and for a lack of better words, I'm just going to say spirits. I don't claim to know what it is, but do you think out of free will the spirits chose to stay there, or did somehow that person release that attachment without knowing it? I mean, how does that?
Yeah, it's just like Elena said, the perfect example. It's like hitchhikers.
Hitchhikers. Okay, hitchhikers.
You pick them up and drop them off, and you don't even know it.
Thank you for clearing
Exactly
that
right.
up, Elena. Thank you for explaining it like that. It's a good way to understand that.
I mean, that's why, that's why, even, you hear, well, with the Disney ride, Haunted Mansion, the hitchhiking ghost, that's exactly what happens. I mean, there are ghosts that just hitch on, you don't know. And it's
Right.
sometimes like when you're driving, all of a sudden, people have literally seen somebody sitting in somebody's back seat because you got a
Right.
hitchhike. You
You
have an attachment that you don't even know. Somebody just pointed out something to me recently when I was on the phone with her that she saw a male in my back seat. So she said, Rob. So
oh
it's kind of, yeah. Let's see if she says anything.
wow, okay. A little uncomfortable feeling. I was gonna bring up the haunted mansion here at the Los Angeles based Disneyland, Anaheim based Disneyland. And I was looking at a documentary and they were stating that people will sneak in the ashes of their deceased loved ones and
Mhm.
sprinkle them throughout the haunted mansion. And there could be hundreds of people that were cremated and their ashes are spread throughout the haunted mansion in Disneyland. And apparently the employees say there's nothing they can do about it. People just sneak this stuff in. So I can only imagine how troubling that must seem. And apparently they find ashes all the time. Employees actually report this. I don't know if it's true. This was what this documentary said, but the haunted mansion at Disneyland does seem to genuinely feel like it is haunted. I mean, it is, legitimately an odd feeling in there.
There's a lot of stories behind that too.
Right, right. Kate says, my 8-year-old told me that the other day about Disney. He told me he doesn't want to go there because it's haunted. Right. There are some and especially the Matterhorn Aero construction company built that roller coaster, the first steel tubular roller coaster. But apparently there was a death that happened early on, and apparently that still haunts Matterhorn to this day, of a woman, I believe, who passed away there with she wasn't wearing her seatbelt. Vitrina says the mind is capable of things that we can't possibly realize yet. Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Life Paranormal says again, I'm the psychic who respects boundaries and has ethics. I'm the weirdo, but guy was in your back seat. Oh, I believe absolutely Life Paranormal. I know if you say there was a guy in the back seat of Rob's car, I believe it. I'm just like, who's riding with Rob?
But here's the other thing. So I did a show while I was driving to work. Somebody wanted me to do a show, to be on their show, and I told them, well, during that time I drive to work, and they said, okay, that's fine. And I said, I'll just have you on speakerphone. They were like, no, it's totally fine. So actually, I got to work a little early, and so I got to the parking lot where I was parked, where I normally park, and the show didn't start yet. So we're doing the interview, and the interviewers were saying, Rob, is there a male sit in the car with you? I was like, no. They're like, we keep on hearing a male disembodied voice. Is there anybody talking around you? I was like, no, the parking lot's empty. I'm like the first one here because I got there purposely early to do the show. And then they were like, do you have the radio on? I was like, no. So they were time stamping everything. So after the show finished, they're like, Rob, we're going to send you the recording, a link to the recording. I want you to go back. Here's all the timestamps. And so I went back and I was listening to it, and it was funny because, yeah, there was a male voice speaking. It was really strange.
Kevin Hart says, imagine being stuck in Euro Disney. Yes, that would be unfortunate of all the Disneylands to be stuck at.
So that's why, Lisa, that's why I kind of joked with, like, really? There's a guy in my backseat? Because, I had an experience with that once before. But that was a couple of years ago, I think.
That is interesting, Kelly. I echo that sentiment, Kelly. That is
And
interesting.
my car was brand new at that point in time. It was brand new. So yeah, he's been in there, I guess, for a while.
Right. Vitrina says, I'm planning on making a video journal about my NDE. Well, that's amazing, Vitrina. It'd be amazing to hear about that. A lot of people could learn from your experience. Sandy says,
younger than
well, does Rob and Josh ever see my comments? I saw
she said that. Yeah, no, she was talking
Sandy
about
says,
the soldier followed him home.
And says, my kids younger than see the soldier. A Civil War soldier followed us home. Hold on, Sandy. I didn't mean to miss them, so give me a second. Sandy says she had an NDE also. Whoops. And the Civil War soldier followed you home. Oh, and my kids younger saw it. Obviously younger than saw the soldier. What was their reaction to the soldier, Sandy? How did they react to that? Kelly says, my husband, and your husband's Patrick, right? Hi, Patrick, if you're listening. And Kelly says, has 2 near-death experiences.
Wow.
Oh, we really should, if people are willing to talk about those.
I think we should talk to some people that had an NDE.
Right, or even live on air, depending on your comfort level. I mean, that's up to you. You would certainly have a platform to talk about that. My gosh. Live Paranormal states driving by cemetery or funeral home, you can get attachments. Everyone, and Don says, Josh, are you outside on the patio? Everyone says that, and Rob said, I love Rob. He said it looked like I was on a street corner in front of a building.
Wait,
I love
what?
when he said that. The background. You said it looked like I'm on the street corner in front of a building, like a vacated building. I'm actually in my office with the lights off. And behind me is shutters, and behind that is the side of the house or the yard. But no, I am not outside. It would be, if I was outside right now, it would be pouring rain. And I'd be electrocuted.
Yeah, it's pouring right now. It's kind of let up a little bit. Well, here anyway. It's probably heading over Josh's house now.
Purple Dahlia Medium says, I use Moonlight 6000 Sun Moon Star Screen. Josh, you could borrow some. One day I'm going to do the show on the street corner outside of a building somewhere. Just to troll all of you.
With your assless chaps in West Hollywood?
Just to troll.
We're gonna set up shop in West Hollywood with Josh and his assless chaps.
Why you
want and a mesh shirt.
And a mesh shirt. Well, we'll see. Yeah, I'm not wearing a mesh shirt in the rain. I can just tell you that. Not in the
rain. We even put black tape on his nipples just for the occasion. That will be a fun show.
Carl says do you see Carl's comment? Read Carl's comment. I know,
You
Don.
look
I
in
know
the
it does.
streets again? That one?
Awful. Awful. Hey, Melissa, how are you? Thank you for joining us.
Sorry, Melissa, you're just walking into. Sorry for what you just walked into.
It sounds like a business transaction. Yes.
Hey, I gotta make money somehow. Got to pimp out Josh.
Got to pay for the upload speeds, right?
Yep.
Someone's got to pay for the gigabyte Ethernet. Right, Kate. Thank you. Kate says, at least not in the, she's all for the idea, just not in the rain. That would be just silly. You can pimp him out, Rob, just not in the rain. Come on. He's going to get sick. Awful.
Hey, got to make money. Rain or no rain.
Brian says black tape on the nipples. Great. Oh my gosh. Josh's other gig. Thank you, Kevin. Oh, it's good fun. I'm happy we got through an hour of the show talking about some serious topics before all of this. Julie says, Josh, this is the first time Jaden is listening, and already he's saying, poor Josh. And why is Rob busting his balls?
That's part of the show. Got to
I like you.
bust
I
Josh's
like you,
balls.
Jaden. I like you a lot. I think we'd be good friends.
Oh, Lisa says, I think I saw Central tape on sale last week.
Oh, good. Thank you, Live Paranormal.
Yep, just like NASCAR.
Yeah.
Sharp left turn.
They do make
We always
umbrellas.
take that left turn quick.
I'm going to have to run some Cat 6 cable, though, outside of that building, because Restream will only let me use a connected cord or an Ethernet cable for speeds or Wi-Fi. So I will have to have an umbrella, but I'll have to have a hardwire connection. I'm sure it'll be safe to do that in downtown Los Angeles somewhere at night. I'm sure nothing will happen to me.
I think it'll be fine in West Hollywood.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. Nothing will happen to me. I'm sure everything will be fine.
You just go in there, shake your little assless ass at them. They'll be like, "Oh, you need an internet connection? Here you go."
If I'm holding a scanning radio and it's scanning the FM frequencies, I don't even think people would think I'm weird. I think I would just fit right in. Would people even notice in LA? I don't think anyone would even notice.
No.
But yeah, that's my other gig. You guys figured me out. That's right, Brian. That's the show. That's the show.
All right, guys, it's almost 9:40.
Yeah, it's 9:40 exactly. So, happy New Year, everyone! Thank you all for an amazing 2021 for both shows, the podcast and the Saturday show. You've all made it what it is. Thank you to Live Paranormal. Thank you so much, Lisa. And we want to wish you all a happy New Year, happy 2022, safe celebration. And please join us Saturday night, 11:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are going to have, basically it's going to be a party. It's going to be a Saturday show and a party for New Year's.
Another drunk fest.
Yeah, one more time. We'll have a good party, and then 2022, we're going to start buckling down and really cracking the whip and getting some new technology out there, getting some good guests on the show. And yeah, be working on cracking the code to get you back at something, Rob. I'll figure something out for the New Year's.
All right.
Be well, you guys. Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's, and we'll see you guys Saturday.
See you guys.